What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters, and welcome to No Life to Metal. I'm going to be doing a competition thing that my friend Ron Wall is putting on Ronnie's Record Room, or something like that. I'll put a link below to his channel if you want to check him out. But I don't do a lot of contests. I'm not, I don't care if I win or not. I just kind of do them when I have time and when it's an interesting subject. And this is one I thought was kind of interesting because he was asking us to show albums that we. You can't pass up when you buy it, even though you already have it. Funny enough, I have an album sitting here that I purchased over the weekend when I was out in Phoenix, and I already have a couple copies of this. One's autographed, one's a promo copy, and I saw this one sitting there for a few bucks, so I snagged it. I already have it. Why did I get it? I actually thought it'd be cool. It's in mint condition. Still got the original shrink on it and hype stickers, so for a few bucks I picked it up. I figured if I don't want to keep it for myself, I'd pass it on to a friend. So yeah, that's the kind of thing he was looking for. Or, you collect multiple copies of some bands. I could show you my Aerosmith collection again, or my Nugent collection again, and you would see I have multiple copies of a lot of their albums. So I didn't want to just show those again. So I started looking around, saying, what else do I have multiple copies of? And was shocked to find that I actually have more than I thought I did. I'm going to start off showing one of the ones I have a lot of copies of. This is probably one of the most in my collection, outside of the Aerosmith and Ted Nugent's and Kiss and Thin Lizzy and whatnot. But this is an original pressing. This is actually in a frame. It hangs on my wall most of the time. Of Deliverance, Weapons of Warfare from 1990 on Intense Records. This one happens to be signed, and yeah, I never play it. The record's actually in the frame behind the record itself because it's just one of my all-time favorite albums. I have multiple copies of it. This is an original CD pressing on Intense Records. And then there's the 2008 repressing with a different cover on this is Retroactive Records. And then this is the most recent reissue that I was able to actually do the artwork for on Bombworks Records. This actually has a 12-page booklet in it with photos and all that kind of cool stuff. So, so yeah, that's just CDs. And honestly, I don't know. I say I don't collect CDs, but I have multiples of a lot of different bands too. So I don't know. And now I have several reissues of this album. This is actually another one that I had worked on for Rox Records, and this is the test pressing, the original test pressing of the reissue on, was it 2012? I think it was. We did this one. Oh, 2014, even more recent than I thought. But this is the test pressing. You can see it's got a couple extra center rings in there, and but it does have a cover. Not all test pressings come with a cover. This one happens to have a cover on it. That's on black vinyl, of course. It's a test pressing. And then I have the first pressing on blue vinyl. And I don't necessarily collect records just because of the color of the vinyl. If the same record comes in like 4 different colors, I don't really care. Chances are I'll buy the black vinyl unless it's some special thing, and that's the only version I need. This particular one is blue. Rox put out a very limited selection of blue vinyl, and then the rest are black. I already had the black because I had the test pressing, so I decided to keep the blue one this time. This one also comes with a bonus CD of the album, and it's of this mix or mastering, whatever, so it's a little different from the original CD version. And then just a couple years ago, they put it out again because the album had sold out so quickly and people were still asking for it, so they put out another limited pressing with another bonus disc. You can see it's different artwork on the bonus disc. It's basically all the same artwork. The only difference is on the artwork is it says on the insert, it's numbered. This one happens to be 2 of 100, and it actually says on here, second pressing 2017. Oh, that was actually this year. 2017, second pressing. Otherwise, it's almost identical to the original. I think my other one, my blue vinyl is also number 2, but of that one it's of 300. So But the color of the vinyl here, again, is different. Like I said, the center rings are also different. So here's the vinyl. It's a pretty cool color. And the center rings this time are black and white rather than color. And again, it's just a different pressing. I probably wouldn't have purchased this one had I not worked for Rox Records and did a lot of this artwork. But because I did, that's why I have that many of the same one. Just something I worked on and something I'm proud of. The funny thing is nobody had the original artwork for this cover, so I had to get this cover to look this good from this somewhat beat up copy from 1990 with the autographs. The worst of which is I think it's George Ochoa's signature going right through the angel. The other ones weren't as bad, but still, I mean, that cover, that redone cover, I had to redo from this. I pretty much redid everything, including I redid the typeface down here so it was clean, and I redid the logo up top so it's a little cleaner, and I added a little, didn't change it much, but I added a little drop shadow so the logo popped a little bit, but otherwise it's, the back cover is completely different. This looks more like the original CD. Anyhow, enough of that. Deliverance, Weapons of Our Warfare, one of my all-time favorite albums. Therefore, I have several CD copies. So what do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 copies right there of the same album. So that's kind of goofy, but it is what it is. So I'm going to start showing these a little quicker, so this is not a really long video, but you'll start seeing the reason I have multiple copies of some of these. But this is Anvil Metal on Metal. This is the original release. This is a picture disc. This is a first pressing on Attic Records with the picture sleeve on the inside, and I also have this one, which is the second pressing. They're almost identical. They're both on Attic. The only difference really is the color of the text on the back. The Attic logo is different on the newer pressing, and the center rings are different. However, I did have this one first, and when I met Anvil, I got it signed by Rob Reiner and Lips, so that's why I have that one. But I did find for a decent price the original pressing with the picture sleeve, so I had to grab that as well. And I had the picture disc for years, so 3 copies of that, not including I also have it on CD. So I'm not going to show CDs for everything because this would just take too long. Pretty much know if I have it on vinyl, I also have it on CD in this collection, and sometimes I have more than one CD. I do have a few here to show you, but for the most part, yeah, I'm not going to show you CDs. So. This album here I have 4 different versions of on vinyl. This is my original Ted Nugent Survival of the Fittest. Ted Nugent and the Amboy Dukes Survival of the Fittest. This is one I got personally signed by him in 2008, as you can see. This is a different pressing. This one is German pressing, and as you can see, it's no longer in the Amboy Dukes. This one just says Ted Nugent Survival of the Fittest. The text is in white. But otherwise, it's pretty similar pressing. You can see the back's a little different where the type is red and white. It's not a huge difference, but this is just one that as a kid I always wanted this version of it, and I never could find it. And then, so I found one at a record fair one time and I grabbed it. It wasn't real expensive. This is a Spanish cover, Gigantes del Pop, Volume 20. This is basically the same album, totally different cover. Remarketed as something completely different. Obviously, it's the same as that one. And this one here, I believe, is also, this might be, let's see, this is Spain. This is a Spain pressing. And this is Historia de la Música Rock. Ted Nugent and the Amboy Dukes. And this, again, is the same album with a different cover. Totally wrong picture for the time period. But still cool just because it's a collector's thing and I collect anything Ted Nugent. So Survival of the Fittest, I actually have a sealed, never opened 8-track of this one. It's the only 8-track in my collection. This was given to me by LJ, Biosite, and it's never been opened and it never will be opened. It's just a cool collectible that I have on a shelf, and I love this. If I ever found really, really good 8-tracks of some of the Aerosmith stuff, I'd probably keep those as well, just because they're just as a collector thing, not really as something I would play. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about Nugent. I think I might have another one in here mixed in somewhere. But just know that almost every Nugent album I have at least 1 or 2 of. And it's because of those kind of things. There's something different about it. I don't care to have every single version. I don't have to have the American version. I'd love to have Japanese versions of all of them, but I don't. All right, next one. Very obvious reason why I have three. This is one of my favorite all-time 70s albums. This is Molly Hatchet's first album. Awesome Frank Frazetta artwork, original pressing and mint condition. This is a player copy. I do play this one quite often. However, I also have this promo copy. This is actually a live album. It has two copies of the live album in there and the regular studio version. As you can see in the corner over here, it says live. It's got, let's see, it's got disc number 3 is the regular Molly Hatchet album, which is the cover for, and then it's got a 5-song EP, live EP, and there's actually 2 copies in here. And as you can see on top, it says demonstration not for sale. This is one that was given to record companies, was given to radio stations only so that they could play the live tracks. It's kind of tough to find, not super expensive, but it comes in a box. The records are just in regular sleeves, except for the studio album. It comes in the same lyric picture sleeve as the regular vinyl does, the regular version. And then I also found this one time and snagged it because it was just kind of cool. But here's a radio promo, no cover. This was actually sent out to radio stations before the album was released. White label promo. It's really good condition. It's got the little radio checklist down here. And it even has a white label promo on there. You know, that little promo stamp on there, the gold stamp. So anyhow, I just thought it was cool, and I can't remember, I didn't pay a whole lot for this either, but I just thought it was cool to have, and just a Nugent fanatic, so there you go. I mean, Molly Hatchet fanatic. Have two versions of this one, as well as, I actually have 2 CD versions of this as well. But this is Trouble. This one has become known as Psalm 9 in more recent years. New repressings actually say Psalm 9 somewhere on the cover. The original pressings do not. This is my original Metal Blade album that I bought back in the 80s when it was a brand new album. It's one of the few that I didn't lose from my original collection because, well, I'm not going to get into that long old story, but let's just say I still have the original Metal Blade pressing. You can see the silver Metal Blade sleeve, but it's on white vinyl, and it's still in immaculate condition because, well, I just owned it for all those years, and it stays in this polyline sleeve that it's been in for however long I've had it, since the 80s. Anyhow, I love Trouble, one of my favorite bands. So when I was given a copy of this as a gift, of course I couldn't get rid of my original pressing, but I kept this one as well. This is spectacular because this is on a very collectible label, Canada only label. This is on Bonsai. So I'm going to just pull this one just so you can see it does have a picture sleeve. And then, dusty. Anyhow, this is the white Bonsai label on one side, and then it's got the regular Bonsai logo on the other. And man, this thing is gotten dusty. I have to clean that one off when I'm done with this. I'm actually going to leave it out to remember to do that. So there you go, 2 from Trouble. Like I said, I do have 2 CD versions too, because it was originally released on CD. It was released as a double, and it was missing tracks, which irritated me. So when it eventually was re-released with the full album on CD as a single album, I grabbed it as well. But I kept the double because it's kind of cool, and now it's rare. Another one of my favorite bands. This is a local band when I was growing up, but this is TT Quick, Medal of Honor. 1986 album, fantastic, straightforward heavy metal album. Mark Tyrone, killer vocals. Of course, Mark Tyrone went on to sing for Accept. Dave DiPietro went on to play guitar for Nuclear Assault for an album. Just a great heavy metal record. This is the original pressing. It's it's in great shape, but couldn't pass this one up. Promo pressing. Not only the promo pressing, it has the original record company promo photo and the original record company, what do you call these things, the biography sheet, whatever. It is as you can see, it has the gold foil stamp in the back. It's just that, for that reason alone, I had to have this one. And to be honest, I bought this by itself first. And as you can see, it's got the biography sheet from Island Records, and it's got an original Megaforce promo photo. So when I got that, I stumbled across this online. A friend was selling it on Facebook, so I bought it from him just because it was a promo version. It's got the stamp, the promo stamp. It's got the cutout. It's got that little direct metal mastering sticker on there. Yeah, it's just a promo copy. So this goes perfectly with this. Thus, I have 2 copies. Yeah, I wouldn't probably be looking for a 3rd copy, but I have bought this album multiple times. This is one of those albums that if I see them for a good price, I buy them just so I can give them to friends, because I just love this album so much, and I just think this is an underrated gem. Next up, okay, speaking of Nugent, again, I do have this one on CD. I didn't grab the CD, I only grabbed the vinyl, but here's an original white label promo on Atlantic Records with the radio checklist on here. You can see the gold stamp on the back. I'm not sure what the deal was with this, but there's like a white cutout right there. Maybe it was I don't know. I have no idea why it was cut like that. But regardless, it's in great condition, and it's just a cool promo version. And then I have the let's see here. This one was this is a German copy, I believe. Yes, this is a German copy, and this was a VCLT gift from somebody who thought I would just like it, and they were right. I like it. So it's forever part of my collection. This is an interesting one. It also is a radio promo, but it's I can't remember what country it's from though. This is a UK pressing, UK promo pressing. As you can see, it's got the little silver gold foil stamp in the corner, and it says promotion only, not for sale. But again, it's just a little different. It's got a little different label. It is on the Atlantic Records label, but just a UK pressing. So, and then these two, of course, are my favorites. This is another promotional pressing, but this is a Japanese pressing. You can see the sample over here. It's got the obi strip. It's got the extra, Japanese insert inside of it. Yeah, it's just a cool pressing. I actually kept the price sticker on the outside plastic because $20 is really cheap for a Japanese promo. But I actually bought this at a record show, and the seller, I buy from him all the time, and he gave it to me for half price. So I got this primo copy of Nugent for $10. And then my all-time favorite copy, this is my original US pressing. When I met Nugent in 2007, I had him sign this copy for me, and he signed it directly to me. You can see his autograph, and it's numbered or dated 2007. So there you go. Several copies of Nugent, and then you can see why. They're just different pressings, and I don't generally do that, but a couple of them were given to me, and if someone gives me a gift like that, of course I love that album. I'm a collector. I mean, it's just what I do. So of course I'm going to keep it. This one here, I did grab the CD for it. This is Aerosmith, and I could have showed any number of Aerosmith records because I had multiples of, but this is Permanent Vacation. This is a CD pressing. I've had this CD pressing for years and years and years. I can't even remember how long I've had it for. But I also have, this is one of the few that I actually have the cassette of. This one's actually sealed, so I can't open it. It's been resealed. It's not originally factory sealed, but the reason I got it resealed was, I don't know how well it's going to show on the camera, but the actual Aerosmith wings and the Permanent Vacation logo are not printed on the paper. It's actually printed onto the jewel case. So yeah, that's why it's sealed, so the jewel case doesn't get busted. And I just have it for that purpose only. I just thought it was a really cool marketing piece. I remember buying this brand new back in the day when I was living in Rochester. Actually, I think I hitchhiked to the mall to buy it or something like that. But in any case, so I got rid of all my stuff in 1990, including the original cassette of this. So I kept them out until I found a good priced copy of this, and I wanted it with the wings printed on the jewel case, and I finally found a copy. Not as easy as you think. You think there was millions of them printed because it sold so well. Most of the cassettes actually have the logo printed on the actual insert itself, the J card. So, all right. So where was I? I was showing Aerosmith's Permanent Vacation. So I had the CD, the cassette, my very good player copy that I've had forever, on vinyl. My puppy in the background talking to you guys. A copy signed by Joey Kramer and Steven Tyler that my very good friend John, the Cap, Captain Howdy from the VC, got signed for me when he actually went to go see Joe Perry. Joe Perry was doing something out there in Canada, and Kramer and Tyler were hanging around, and he ended up getting their signatures, which is just spectacular. So this is another copy that another friend got signed for me, which is also spectacular. And this one is signed by Steven Tyler as well. And you can see up here, Steven Tyler's, and then also by Joe Perry down here. So I have 2 signed copies, one with Joey Kramer, one with Joe Perry, and both with Steven Tyler. It's interesting that Tyler's signature is a little different on both. I mean, it looks similar, but there's definitely some differences in the 2. Apparently this one was, I can't remember when this one was signed, a long time ago. This one was signed more recently, so it's interesting to see the differences in his signature. The S is almost identical, but in here you can actually see more of the Steven and more of the Tyler, where here it's just a little more of, you can see the S, and that's about it. A bunch of squiggly lines, but regardless, both signed personally and given to friends of mine and who sent them to me, so I know that they're both original. So there you go. 3 vinyl copies of Aerosmith Permanent Vacation, a cassette version and a CD version. Alright, keeping on. This is Accuser's Double Talk. This is a recent reissue on Grease's No Remorse Records. I love this album. I love this band. German thrash metal band. Have this repressing on vinyl. Have this original pressing, which is a test pressing. No cover, just this. On the original Major Records, Adam H. ARG. As well as an original Adam H. CD pressing from Germany. So yeah, there's 3 pressings of Accuser, Double Talk. I love Accuser. I have all their stuff on CD and vinyl, so therefore I have at least 2 of all their albums. However, this is the only one I actually have 2 different records of. So here's the reason for this one. This is an original pressing of the Amboy Dukes Migration on, what was it on? I can't remember, like Mainstream Records. And this album is, it's pretty rough. The cover's not too bad. It's got a little bit of wear on it, but it just shows its age, and I kind of like that about this version. And I've had this one for a long time. It was the first one I had purchased when I was looking for this on vinyl. I picked it up at a record show. It's got snap, crackles, and pops when it plays. So you know, I don't really play it all that often, but I just love this version of it. It's just got that age. It's got that. It's got rust, you know, and it looks its age, and I just really dig it because of that. If I ever found a better version of this, you know, original pressing, I'd probably snap it up again and get rid of this one. The big thing that bothers me is it's someone really bent the end of it all up, and then it's torn on the bottom. But still, I've had this one forever. But I also have this repressing that's absolutely mint. Can you tell the difference between the repressing and the original pressing? There's no difference. The labels, everything's identical. But you can obviously tell this is a brand new copy. The whites are not yellowed at all. It's actually on a thicker grade of vinyl, and it plays perfect. So yeah, that's why I have 2 versions of that. Original pressing and then a repressing that I actually use for playing. This is a band I don't have too many multiple copies of. I do have this one on CD. I have this original pressing on vinyl of Judas Priest, Screaming for Vengeance. This album to me defines heavy metal. If someone says, name an album that defines what heavy metal is, this is the album I would use. It's just got everything about metal, especially in the 80s for me. It's just a brilliant album. Anyhow, this is an original pressing. It's in there. It's still got the original plastic on, which I don't usually keep on there, but it's got the hype sticker. It just looks so cool like this, so I kept it in there like that. It's got the original sleeve and all that stuff, and it plays perfect. Okay, sorry about that. Another interruption. The batteries were dying on my... I usually check that before I do it. I guess I did forgot, so... Alright, so yeah, where was I? Screaming for Vengeance. Original pressing. This is the recent remastered repressing on picture disc. And then I have the original picture disc from back in the 80s. And you can see they're a little different. The color's different. The look is just a little different. And the backs are completely different. You can see the Judas Priest logo on the new one's bigger. This just has a picture of the band on the back. It's actually a pretty cool picture from back in the day. Whereas this one, oh, this one's still sealed. I can't even open it. It's got a totally different back. Look it up online if you want to see it. I'm not going to open it up for that. I purchased this just because I thought it was really cool. It wasn't real expensive, and I already had the original one, so it just was kind of cool to have them both. Staying with Judas Priest, I have 2 copies of this. I had 3 or 4 at one time. This is a UK pressing with the original cover for Point of Entry. Love this album. A lot of people don't care for it. It is a little more simplistic than some of their early material, but it's still Priest, it's still metal, and I love it. So, but this is the Point of Entry UK cover, and a lot of people like this cover best. I don't care, I like them both. This is actually the Japanese pressing with the American cover. Most people don't see it, but you know, this paper road going out into the desert. It's also got a double entendre thing going on here. I don't know how well I'll be able to see it because of the obi strip that's in the way, but it also, this is the hem of a dress. This is a woman's legs. Point of Entry. Yeah, so there you go. But this Japanese pressing I got very inexpensively, and it's in mint condition, so I actually ended up giving away my original US pressing to a friend as a VCLT. And I think I had almost positive I had a radio pressing as well, and I also gave that one away as VCLT. So, all right, one more to go. My favorite of the 4 solo albums from Kiss. This is Ace Frehley. This is the original US pressing. Got all the stuff in it. It's in very good condition. If I ever got to meet Ace personally, this is the record I would ask him to sign. I would love to meet Ace. Yeah. Anyhow, this is one that I traded with John Hockley for, but this is a German pressing, a West German pressing. You can see the Kiss logo with the backwards Z's. I just thought it was cool. I know a few people who have, you know, all their albums with that, but this is one of my favorite all-time albums. Not only from Kiss, but it's one of my favorite all-time albums. So it was just cool to have that with the different logo. And you can see it's also solid as opposed to this one, which is otherwise not a huge difference. This copy did not come with all the inserts, and never did. So, and then I also have an original 1978 picture disc pressing. It actually has a Mylar sleeve on the inside, which is kind of giving it that wavy look. It's not the record itself. I just put that in there to keep it clean, keep it from getting scratched. It's not in perfect shape. If you can look closely up here, it's got a kind of a bend in the. Let's see if I can get the glare in the right spot. There you go. But like I said, it's an original pressing from '78. It's not one of the recent repressings. There's been several repressings of the picture discs, so I don't care. This is just awesome. Again, you know, it's a little crusty, a little rusty, a little. It shows its age, and I have no problem with that. I think it's awesome. So, so there you go. That's my entry into Ron's contest. Some albums that I have doubles of, some albums that I have extra copies of, some albums that I can't pass up, and all those albums, if I see copies that are cheap, I'll pick them up anyhow. If I don't keep them for myself, I'll give them to somebody else. I mean, I do that a lot. So there you go. Check out Ronnie's channel. Thank you for watching my channel. Appreciate it. Next video is going to be 1986 with Trog. So keep an eye out for that. So that's it. Appreciate y'all watching. God bless and stay strong.